Yo, yo, what's up, dudes? In this video, we're going to be talking about how it's okay to feel down and out. Life's all about cycles, man, and I have definitely felt down and out quite a few times in my life over various reasons. And cool thing is, guys, it never stays, it never sticks around. At least I've been pretty good at I feel like just you gotta work through it, man. Well, there's a quote I think it's like when you find yourself in hell, like you just gotta keep on going through. Or I know I butchered that, but you know what I'm saying. Um, so yeah, man, there's been times in my life where I'm like, when the fuck am I gonna get my break? Like, when am I gonna get like when is the story gonna be done? I'm tired of this shit. I feel like life's just pig on me, and everyone has different problems, but it's all relative, because really, if you're in the United States, you're living a life way better than other people, and we probably have a lot of made up problems. That's the thing about the United States. We have life so fucking good here that we have to create our own fucking problems in our head. And of course, society and all that is telling us to do so. Oh, you're oppressed this way or that way, blah blah blah. Like, dude, this ain't the fucking 1960s anymore. You're not in the deep south. You're probably, not getting segregated against. I have plenty of friends who are of different races and whatnot, and who have told me, man, like, dude, I've never experienced racism or anything like that. But there's plenty of people who do. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me fucking wrong. But I guess the thing I'm trying to say is that they're trying to program us to feel like you're at some disadvantage, dude. Because the more it gets you to think, oh, you're at a disadvantage because of X, Y, Z, because of this, because you're a woman, because you're blah blah blah. The more you're just gonna lose. All right, you gotta like I said, this ain't the fucking 1960s anymore. This is not. Even if you do, man, we're not feeling the same way that other people did back in the day. And yeah, before y'all say shit because I'm white, I know I'm fucking white. I grew up in a place in South Florida, the Miami Fort Lauderdale area, where there's not a lot of white people. And grew up in school there. I definitely had a ton of racist shit thrown my way. And yeah, just to be told when I went to college in a different part of Florida where it was more white people that I was the devil because I was white, and everything's my fault because I'm a white straight male. So, anyways, guys, I guess the point I'm trying to say is that we're taught to be a victim in society. No, and if you're a masculine male who feels good about himself, stands up for himself, you're toxic masculinity, right? So, um, but I guess the thing we're trying to say, guys, that life's full of up and downs. We're gonna be going through it. I had an older guy tell me this one time when I was going through a really shitty time in my life, and really fucked up thing happened, and nothing I could do, man. And I was just like thinking my life was over. That I was gonna live this shitty life, and I was thinking about legit taking my own life for real. Like I was in a very very dark place. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, man, everyone has ups and downs. It's the thing that when you're in that down spot, do you get out of it or do you stay there? That's what separates, people who win from people who don't win." So, just want to share that with you guys, and especially for younger guys out there. Like, we're gonna have to go through it, man. And the cool thing is that think about every time in your life when you've gone through a rough patch, dude, and you've gone through it. Looking back, I've always felt like grateful, like, man, like thank God I'm out of that rough spot. But the life lessons it taught me and just the character has given me and just like the appreciation for life and the good times. Like you can't appreciate the good times without the shitty times, man. And the shittier the shitty time, the better life's gonna feel when you're out of that shitty time. So we gotta be grateful, man. And I know it's like when you're going through a rough patch and you're hearing that, it's like, all right, I get it, but like fuck, like right now I still feel like shit. Just embrace it, man. You gotta embrace that pain, and you gotta love it, because the more that you're like, woe is me, oh my god, like you're just suffering twice. You're suffering from the actual thing that happened, and you're suffering because of the meaning you give it. Life's all about, we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control the meaning we give things. And I think that's from Tony Robbins, I believe. Anyways, um, and also that relates to Stoicism. I think Marcus Aurelius talks about that. A really good book to read is called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So Marcus Aurelius was a Roman Empire, and during his lifetime, he was like the most powerful man on earth. And yet he was super humble, man. He did not let this shit get to his head. He wrote this book, I believe it was like diary, basically, just him like talk about life, talk about the struggles and things. And he still felt bad. He still had shit happen to him, and people tried to defame him and kill him. And but he looked at it and says, "Okay, this is what it is. Like I'm not gonna suffer twice. I'm not gonna suffer from like the actual thing happening and suffer again from like constantly thinking about it in my head and giving a meaning that this is bad. This is bad." He chose instead to give things a meaning of, "Oh, this is good." Like, oh, this bad thing happened, good, because now this is a like for example, like there's a long line at some place, and you're like, fuck, man, you arrive somewhere, and you're like you're at the store or whatever, and you spend an hour shopping, and then you went to go check out, and you're like, fuck, man, I gotta wait in this bullshit fucking line for 20 minutes. He's like, no, like you can instead be like, oh, wow, this is great. I have a chance to practice patience right now, and during this downtime, I can also do all kinds of things, like think about stuff that I'm happy for, blah, blah. So it's all about how you give things meaning, you know? And really, that's truly up to us, truly up to us. Because there's plenty of people who are going through way worse shit than you who have a way better mindset and outlook on life than you. And, that's up to them, man. And you just got to be grateful. We got to be grateful. That's the way cookie crumbles. We got to realize that, you know, life is gonna like as long as you're a human being, you're alive, you're gonna go through rough patches, man. And you can't like we might as well just expect it and embrace it when it comes because you know that the good times are coming too. Um, but yeah, man, just every time, guys, I've went through a hard time in life, eventually at some point, whether it might not be instantly after, but it could be years after, months after, days after, whatever, where you're like, oh, I'm happy. Thank God that thing happened for me because that lined me up. That set me up for this next great thing, or that set me up to be happier in life in general, or that set me up because that gave me character, or that taught me a valuable lesson. So the more you think of life like that, the happier you'll be, the more you'll get out of life. We can't just have good times all the time. We got to go through the rough patches to really, think about like a glass of water. Is that glass of water going to taste better when you're satisfied or after you just got done this fucking grueling long run? It's 100 degrees out. You're parched. Man, that glass of water is going to taste 100 times better. 100 times better. Also, think about you gotta take a piss really bad. You know, how many times have you got to take a piss so fucking bad, and when you finally do, your peeing almost feels like an orgasm. Like you're like, oh my god, this is like kind of orgasmic. Like you're like, it feels fucking great. I know it's a kind of weird thing, but I'm sure if you're a guy, at least for me, man, so many times where I'm like, oh, like I'm like, fuck you, about to piss my pants, and then like I finally do find a place to pee, and it's coming out, and I'm like, oh man. Think about it. You've been at the urinal plenty of times. The guy next to you is like, oh, you know. So, anyways, just think of stuff like that, guys. Can't have the good without the bad. Can't have the bad without the good. Yin yang. So embrace it. Quicker you get this concept in your mind and you embrace that concept, better life's gonna be. You might as well start now. Start when you're young. Anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel for more. Peace out.